Thank you very much, and good evening. First of all, Dr. Manish, sir, then uh, guest of honor, Munesh, ma'am, and all the dignitaries present here. It's a great privilege to speak on such a contemporary topic when we are facing the health crisis like situation in our country. So it's a great privilege to talk about it. And first of all, I want to convey my sincere gratitude to the GSTS platform for giving me the opportunity of the 239th talk on the Indigenous knowledge system, a case study on the folk medicinal practices of Mishing tribe of Northeast India. So, first of all, I'm going to start with my introduction. Uh, I am Parthib, a postgraduate scholar from the Department of General and Applied Geography at Dr. Singh Gaur Central University, Sagar, Madhya Pradesh. And I have been graduated from Dayal Singh College, University of Delhi itself. Uh, as a geography student and as an initial researcher, I am quite interested towards the health geography and tribal studies. So that's why it is a topic which involves both the dimension, like the tribal studies also and the health geography also. So with all your permission, I want to start the lecture series on. Okay, thank you very much, sir. So this is the 239th talk on the Indigenous folk medicinal knowledge system, a case study on the Mishing tribe of Northeast India. So you all are
Uh,
invited,
uh,
and
and Mr. Dev, this is missing, not missing. So for the audience, can you explain this? It's not MISSING. So few people
Acha, okay,
like
okay.
confused in the missing tribe.
So it is a matter of fact that this is a second largest tribal community from Northeast India, and they are called as Mishing tribe, not the missing tribe. It's like, and they are known by several other names also, like the Miri tribe, then the Miring tribe, and it is a common name that like got the recognition, like the Mishing tribe. So yeah, so I am starting with the case study of Mishing tribe of Northeast India. So first of all, we should discuss about the folk medicine, as this is the key topic. And what is folk medicine? So folk medicine refers to the medicines in traditional home natural medical practices. Now, traditional healing practices developed within communities based on the local knowledge of plants, environment, and culture. So, culture plays a big role in folk medicinal practices. We can see that it is quite like cultural heritage as a part of cultural heritage. So, we're going to discuss on it. We're going to have a brief discussion on it in the latest slides. Uh, Now, how this study going to contribute? That's the most important thing that we should discuss first. So it is it is folk medicinal practices can be seen as an alternative way to deal with the diseases that we are facing, as ma'am has mentioned already, like turmeric, and there are several practices that we are performing since many years ago. And uh, as a indigenous community, when you are from indigenous community, so as a geography student, I want to focus on the fact that the human environment interaction, they are still in the determinism approach. They are following the determinism approach. And what does that determinism means? It means simply that how we look at the nature and what is the relationship. It's like they consider the nature as supreme, and the in such kind of approaches, they basically think that the human are the passive and nature is the supreme. So they condition they treat nature like that. So due to that, they have an inclusive uh, interaction with the nature most of the time due to their livelihood. Even they are dependent on the primary activities. So yeah, it plays a big role. Now, for that reason, the folk medicine is one of their primary way to deal with the diseases. Now, how this study going to contribute? It is for those areas where the health infrastructure is considerably weaker. We're going to see that due to the remote locations and inaccessibilities, uh, we can't reach to the remote locations. The government has tried many initiatives that we're going to discuss later, but sometimes they fail to do that because of their reach. Okay, uh, so due to that, we can see that where health infrastructure is considerably weaker, folk medicines can act as first line and affordable healthcare. We should also mention that it is one of the affordable way to deal with the diseases. Uh, can be supplemented to modern healthcare knowledge or medicinal practices. For example, the best examples are aspirin that we often take. Then the quinine, basically, it was used by Quechua tribe of South America first for the malarial treatment, and later it became uh, the anti-malarial drug for whole world. Like we can see that. Then the neem and turmeric that has been a part of our since long, even in our Indian culture also. So by this way, it can be proven as a way to mitigate health crisis if it happens. So it is about my study, about this case study. This study focuses on traditional healing practices of the Mishing community that I have mentioned. The we have surveyed the Lakhimpur and Dhemaji districts of Assam. East two districts of Assam, they are Lakhimpur and Dhemaji. Both lies in the on the banks of the Brahmaputra River. Just a geographical understanding about the location I am giving you. Uh, and there is the East Siang district of Arunachal Pradesh, uh, where the tribe has been living since long time. And we have identified in this study that there are 55 medicinal plants they use for to treat the diseases commonly like malaria, jaundice, skin diseases. They use the like we can see that how rich their knowledge system is. They use it according to the they use the parts of the plants according to the diseases. Like it is disease specific. Few parts of the plants are used for malaria, then few parts of the plants are specifically used for jaundice. So these are the things. uh, Now this is about the geography of Northeast India. As we're going to see that geography plays a very big role. Just a matter of fact is that we should not forget that Northeast is covered by Himalayan ranges, so it gets an basically abundance of plants, herbs, etc. So if we are going to see some arid region, if there are some tribes in the arid region, they're not going to have this kind of, I believe that they're not going to have this kind of indigenous knowledge medicinal practices because of their geographical aspect. So that's why the geography of Northeast is playing a very big role in their study, we can see. Uh, so why Mishing tribe? The Mishing community possesses a rich repository of traditional medicinal knowledge. So based on an in-depth understanding of the local ecology and flora. It is an important tribe of the country. Still, it is most underrepresented tribe and even understudied tribe. That's why we have to mention that it is Mishing tribe, not missing tribe, because it is the fact that they are most understudied tribe, tribal community of India. It is the second largest tribe of northeastern India. Their indigenous knowledge system is at risk, so that's why we should look at them and highlight those for the further research in this field. The tribe is also vulnerable to disasters. We should not forget that, because floods and such conditions in Brahmaputra Valley, ये आप सबको पता ही होगा कि असम कितना ज्यादा फ्लड प्रोन स्टेट है. as like Bihar. So ब्रह्मपुत्र रिवर के कोर्स में, जो कि वॉल्यूम सबसे ज्यादा वाटर वॉल्यूम कैरी करता है हमारे कंट्री में, तो उसके कोर्स में अगर वो कोई ट्राइबल हैबिटेशन है तो ऑब्वियसली वो वल्नरेबल टू डिजास्टर्स तो होगा ही. तो दैट्स व्हाई वी शुड फोकस ऑन मिशिंग ट्राइब एंड वी हैव फोकस्ड ऑन मिशिंग ट्राइब. This is a study area map. You can say it has. I have taken it from some research paper. This is about the area. You can see Brahmaputra river is flowing in between, and the main thing we can focus is that the river. So इस river के ही side में basically उनकी habitation develop हुई है. So even Mishing tribal community are involved in primary activities that we going to see, जिसमें उनका बहुत बड़ा जो मतलब बहुत बड़ा उनका ऑक्यूपेशन है, वो फिशिंग में भी बहुत बड़ा उनका कंट्रीब्यूशन, लाइक उनका फिशिंग पे डिपेंडेंट है. तो इट इज ड्यू टू दैट ब्रह्मपुत्र रिवर. So this was basically about the geographical understanding of the area. Now the objective of this study, to file up the traditional knowledge of folk medicinal practices of that particular community, to find and sort the medicinal plants, to understand how it is a part of cultural heritage. As I have mentioned, that folk medicines are developed as a part of culture, and it is going through generations through culture, through the element of culture. So we're going to see that how it is a part of cultural heritage, and also to highlight the need to preserve this knowledge system as it at risk, I have mentioned, and pave a way for further research. Now, this is basically the case study literary framework. I have just mentioned that the primary health care for indigenous communities in the country are still not at that level. Like if there is some sort of availability, तो वहाँ पे accessibility की कमी हो जाती है. So that we going to see कि अब ये availability और accessibility क्या होता है. Availability in terms of कि आपके पास कितने प्राइमरी हेल्थ केयर सेंटर्स, CHCs या डिस्ट्रिक्ट हॉस्पिटल्स अवेलेबल है, और एक्सेसिबिलिटी ये हो जाता है कि आपके पास रूट नेटवर्क है क्या वहां तक रीच करने के लिए, या फिर आपके पास वहां स्टाफ है इतने, या फिर एक्सपर्ट्स वहां अवेलेबल है. सो इस चीज की स्टडी को हम देख सकते हैं कि ये दोनों चीजें लैक करती है ट्राइबल एरियाज में. आइदर availability is there, accessibility is low, या फिर accessibility is there and availability, like such conditions can be there. So that's why in such cases we have to look for alternative traditional folk medicinal knowledge that is about this Mishing tribe we are focusing on. Then we also going to see that how this, like there are several threats also, जो हम डिस्कस करेंगे नेक्स्ट के स्लाइड्स में कि कौन से पॉसिबल थ्रेट्स है ड्यू टू देयर इज, again I am coming to, as geography is interdisciplinary subject, and so it is about the even globalization. It's playing a very big role in like to prevent the transmission of the knowledge system from the elder generation to the younger generation. So we're going to see that in this whole study. And the important thing is that there is a research gap, is that the systematic study of the tribal community is not there. So we are not trying to give a research paper basically, but yeah, we are just highlighting the facts so that further researches can be done in this field. Now this is about Mishing community. It is the second largest plain scheduled tribe in northeastern India, concentrated in the Brahmaputra Valley. They have the population approximately 7 lakh, with most of the people living in rural areas. So this is about the social status of the community. If we are doing some kind of study or talking about some community, we should always know about their socio-economic status. So we are just focusing on that, on their social status. It tells us about that how vulnerable that community is. So in terms of education, the status of the Mishing community is comparable to other scheduled tribes. So the data have been taken from 2011 census, and it says that there is 60.1% overall literacy rate is there in Mishing community, Mishing tribal community, and among them we can see 71.4% is the male literate population and 48.3% is the women literate population. So we can see a gender inequality is there. So that is the thing, like one of that makes them vulnerable in some aspect, that gender inequalities, they are only 48.3% women who are literate. तो and जो सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट मैंने मेंशन किया था, it is one of the worst affected by disasters. The example I have taken from, you can further go on if you want to. There is Mosami Chetia's case study which reveals that on the Majuli Island, as I think you all know that Majuli Island is the world's largest riverine island, जो ब्रह्मपुत्र रिवर में ही है, and we can see that on his case study that how vulnerable that Mishing community is. They had to leave from that island. So, and one of the biggest concern is that हम किसी भी एरिया की जब स्टडी करते हैं तो we should always, या फिर किसी कम्युनिटी की स्टडी करते हैं, we should always look at political representation. What is the status of their political representation? If there is no one from your community to speak on about your community's welfare, so you will not get anything. This is the real truth of our society. So we can see that the Mishing community is one of the least politically represented community of Assam. Yeah, so now there are few notable things I have mentioned. There is one notable ritual of the Mishing community. It is Dobariu. So Dobariu is basically a like festival kinda, like they gather for festival, and this is one of the most important communities ritual, where people basically offer the medicinal plants to deities. So you can see their human environment relationship कि कितना ज्यादा.
You go ahead. Don't interrupt. You go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay. So we're going to discuss on that, how it's going to. So this is one of the most important community rituals. It reflects how health, religion, and ecology are basically combining together, playing a big role. Okay. So it is one of the good example of human environment relationship. Now, one of the biggest thing that we should focus is that today, as we all know, in every discipline, we are focusing on feminist perspective, rather it's geography or political science. There are, in geography, there are feminist geographers. So we can see one feminist aspect in their society. It is, we can see as the women as a custodian of knowledge. So basically, through oral traditions, the knowledge passes to next generation through the elder women of that family. So it is, in most of the time, is grandmother of that family. And even in the medicine preparation, the active role is played by basically the women of that their families, their community. So we can see that though they have informally they have educational disparity between male and female, but in their cultural practice we can see that women are at forefront. So it is a good aspect of the community. This is about the gender distribution. So I have taken the data from 2011 census. As we all know, there is the literacy rate mentioned and the male-female gender distribution of the community, and the occupational distribution. The primary occupation, they are based on the primary occupation, and among them we can see that fishing is playing a very big role. Okay, now this is something relevant to our study. It is like what is the current status of their health? Why we are studying this? Because of their health status, right? So we're going to see that the estimated hospital beds and the comparison of PHC, CHC. PHC is primary health centers and CHC is uh, community health centers, and we have analyzed it on the basis of the national average, and ये तीन डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स के एवरेज को हमने लिया और हमने कंपेरेटिवली ये पाया कि ये तीन डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स बेटर परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं एज कम्पेयर टू नेशनल एवरेज। तो हम ये नहीं कह सकते कि ये बहुत मतलब बहुत खराब सिचुएशन है वहाँ इन टर्म्स ऑफ अवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ हॉस्पिटल्स और हेल्थ स्टेटस, राइट? नाउ दिस इज समथिंग इंटरेस्टिंग। जब हम इसको फर्दर एनालाइज करते हैं रूरल हेल्थ स्टेटिस्टिक्स के थ्रू, सो हमको ये देखने को मिलता है कि द नेशनल एवरेज एंड द मिशिंग डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स एवरेज में जो हॉस्पिटल बेड्स है वो तो फिर भी ठीक है, बट व्हेन यू गोइंग टू सी द स्पेशलिस्ट्स इन CHCs, we're going to see that it is quite lower than the national average. Then in terms of the 24/7 PHC availability, PHC तो है वहाँ बट उसकी अवेलेबिलिटी 24/7 नहीं है। तो ये एक हमें ट्रेंड देखने को मिलता है वहाँ। देन एम्बुलेंस एक्सेस, द मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट चीज, अगर आप बीमार होते हैं तो आपको हॉस्पिटल तक पहुंचाएगा कौन? इट इज द एम्बुलेंस, राइट? और द कन्वीनियंस, it is most for that is the ambulance only. So that's why we can see that in the score of 10 the ambulance performance is also very poor, the availability of ambulance also. Staff vacancy rate is quite higher than the national average. So ये देख सकते हैं हम कि वहाँ पे स्टाफ से नहीं है तो आप हॉस्पिटल्स में जाके क्या कर सकते हैं? आपकी ट्रीटमेंट ही नहीं हो सकती। So that's why we are shifting to again the ट्रेडिशनल मेडिकल प्रैक्टिसेस। वाई? बिकॉज ये कंडीशन है हमारे पास, तो हम क्या करेंगे? हमें ट्रेडिशनल मेडिसिनल नॉलेज को ही प्रिजर्व करना पड़ेगा। सो दैट्स व्हाई नाउ वी आर फोकसिंग, देयर आर टू वेज ऑफ देयर ट्रीटमेंट। one is herbal treatment, another one is supernatural treatment. In herbal treatment we basically have seen that they use the extracts of herbs, plants, and they made it either in the form of decoction, powder, or by making pastes. मैंने कहा था शुरू में ही कि डिपेंड्स ऑन द नेचर ऑफ द डिजीज। सो उनकी नॉलेज सिस्टम इतनी रिच है कि वो उसके बेसिस पे अपने मेडिसिन को प्रिपेयर करते हैं। नाउ अगेन द बिग पार्ट इज दैट सुपरनेचुरल ट्रीटमेंट। Now it is all about your subconscious mind. We can say that हमें as a primitive society, मैंने कहा था कि they practice the determinism approach, and what happens here? It is that the nature is superior and the nature is considered as the mother goddess, right? So in that condition वो क्या करते हैं? वो nature को supernatural power की तरह treat करते हैं and उससे वो blessings लेते हैं। It's like we can see the Shaktism sect of Hinduism. We can relate it quite, right? Shaktism sect में भी हम tantra, tantric traditions and वो सब use करते हैं, तो it's similar to that. In that case, the traditional healers are called as Bibu, and that Bibu uses the tantra mantra and all to further treat the diseases. Now, as I have mentioned, we're going to discuss about the threats to their knowledge system. So the threats are basically, we can see the influence of modern medical practices. Now, people are younger generation, always, sometimes they have a mindset that we shouldn't go to the orthodox system of our culture, right? So, but they forget that between that orthodoxy, कभी-कभी हमें वहाँ से भी काफी rich सेविंग्स ऑफ नॉलेज मिल सकता है। तो उस चीज को देखते हुए जो मॉडर्न मेडिकल प्रैक्टिसेस की तरफ शिफ्ट होना, दैट्स नॉट ए रॉन्ग थिंग, बट या दे शुड प्रिजर्व इट आल्सो। सो देन द लैक ऑफ इंटरेस्ट अमंग यूथ, दैट्स द थिंग। आज के डेट में कोई ग्रैंडमदर के पास बैठ के स्टोरी टेलिंग नहीं सुनता है, एज इट इज नॉट डॉक्यूमेंटेड, सो हाउ इट गोइंग टू पास? कोई मतलब ओरल ट्रेडिशंस का कोई पर्पस ही नहीं रह गया फिर। So limited oral transmission of traditional knowledge, then the environmental changes, जो कि बहुत बड़ा एक बिग रोल प्ले करता है। जियोग्राफी में क्लाइमेट चेंज हो रहा है। एज ए बेसिकली आई बिलोंग्स टू असम, सो आई वांट टू मेंशन दैट मैंने इस बार नोटिस किया कि एज स्टेइंग इन सेंट्रल इंडिया एंड नॉर्दर्न इंडिया, इस बार नॉर्थ इंडिया और सेंट्रल इंडिया में ज्यादा बारिश हुई है एज कम्पेयर टू असम। वी आर फेसिंग द अर्बन हीट आइलैंड एंड सच थिंग्स। सो ये सब एनवायरमेंटल चेंजेस ऑब्वियसली आपके हर्बल तो बेसिकली एबंडेंस है उसको इफेक्ट करेगा। सो दैट्स हैपनिंग। And this is a gap about the study that some studies have been done on the Mishing community, but they either focus on limited regional plants or do not delve deeply into the cultural perspective. ज्यादातर जो स्टडीज होते हैं वो आइदर एथनो बोटेनिकल स्टडीज होते हैं। तो एज वी ऑल नो दैट हेल्थ जियोग्राफर्स बहुत कम है, तो इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी अप्रोच कहीं ना कहीं लैक कर जाता है, एंड जिसके चलते कल्चरल पर्सपेक्टिव को हम छोड़ देते हैं कहीं ना कहीं। तो ये स्टडी का गैप है बहुत टाइम से मिशिंग कम्युनिटी। Now, the nature of my study is basically complete qualitative secondary database, and I have included the sources are rural health statistics, NFHS data, census 2011, and a big role played by the previous studies like research articles and book chapters that are available. Now, this is about the findings of the study. टोटल हमें 55 मेडिसिनल प्लांट्स का पता चला आफ्टर दिस स्टडी दैट जिसको वो लोग यूज करते हैं, एंड इट वेरीज फ्रॉम क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ डिजीजेस एज आई मेंशन कि डिजीज जैसे होता है उस पर वेरी करता है। सो फॉर द ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ मलेरिया दे यूज द डिकॉक्शन फ्रॉम द लीव्स एंड बार्क ऑफ लोकली फाउंड प्लांट्स। Okay, and for the jaundice they prepare juice. Juice is prepared by grinding the roots specifically, and for skin diseases they uses the paste of the leaves. Leaves is one of the readily available thing that part of the plant, right? We're going to see that the in the whole part of the plant they use the leaf the most because of its like convenience to use, right? Then for headache, fever, and stomach ailments, sometimes mixed herbs are also used. In the study, I have mentioned in some slide, but I think it is not here. So I should mention that even menstrual disorder can be treated through their medicinal practices. It has been found in the study itself. So this is about the use of medicinal plants that I have discussed. These are facts. Leaves, 36.84% of leaves are used. Basically, it is readily available. I have mentioned stems is the second most used, 14.3%. Then root is the used for basically digestion and internal diseases like jaundices, whichever is like related to liver and such things. So they use the root for that, which is 10.5% of share. And for barks, which in the case of the barks of the tree, you can see the 7.2% are uses for febrile illness like malaria. Now, in the findings, we have found that ये जो ट्रांसफर और प्रिजर्वेशन ऑफ ट्रेडिशनल नॉलेज है, ये ट्रांसफर किस तरीके से होता है? सो वन पार्ट वी हैव सीन दैट इट इज बेस्ड ऑन the women act as a major role in to transmit the oral tradition, right? Or the knowledge of that medicine. So uske sath sath there are ojha and ved like characters, you can say, people in the community who basically transmits the knowledge. So the effectiveness and role in local health system. The study observed that where government health services are limited, as I have mentioned, folk medicine can provide a better, accessible, affordable, and socially acceptable alternatives. जैसे एक्सेसिबिलिटी अफोर्डेबिलिटी की स्टडी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होती है। कहीं पे कुछ एक्सेसिबल अगर अवेलेबल होता है तो शायद वो एक्सेसिबल ना हो, और एक्सेसिबल होता है तो शायद वो अफोर्डेबल ना हो। तो यहाँ पे 3A का बहुत बड़ा रोल आता है, एंड सो it is one of the alternative that can help in the accessible, affordable, and social, which is socially acceptable. Now, the need for conservation and scientific validation. The main focus of our study is to identify this thing and highlight it for the conservation and scientific validation, as they are vulnerable and their tradition can get extinct at any time. They are at endangered stage. We can say that. Uh, this study revealed that the traditional knowledge of the Mishing community is very rich, but it is undocumented. The biggest problem is that it is undocumented. So it should be scientifically tested and like ev- evaluated in terms of the modern medical facilities, so that we can further ethnobotanical studies can be done. So उससे हमें उनके इस रिच उसको ट्रांसमिट किया जा सकता है. Now there are 55 medicinal plants, as I have mentioned. They are very well known about their dosage, uses, किस तरीके से use करना होता है. They have that knowledge. We can see that their literacy rate is quite low, but you can see their cultural awareness and the like basically ecological understanding. So it shows that the ecological adaptation of that community and the indigenous communities of the country. Then this is a basic scientific names of most commonly used plants like Centella asiatica, Phyllanthus emblica, and Aloe barbadensis. Like these are pictures of few of the plants. Now the treatment process and the social role we're going to see. Uh, the traditional healers in the Mishing community have different specializations. वहाँ पे unofficial, unsaid या फिर जो which is like apart from the schooling education and like it is not a part of our modern educational system, like वो कोई degree hold नहीं करते हैं, but they are having specialization such as herbalists. They have defined bone settlers and the shamans who practice tantric healings. As I have mentioned, the Shaktism can be seen also in their traditions. And I should mention here that the Mishing community is practicing Hindus uh, of Western India. Of the Hindu religion, they follows the Hindu religion in uh, among the tribal communities of Northeast India. So they use the tantric healing processes also, and those healers have expertise to
Sorry,
prescribe medicines also. Yeah.
Mr. Parthib, sorry to interrupt you, but keeping time limits in mind,
Okay.
if you could conclude
Yeah,
in
I'm
just
just
2 or 3
summing.
minutes,
I'm
so that would be
summing.
great. Yeah.
Okay. So we can see it is not only an integral part of their cultural and social life, but also play an important role in the field of healthcare in their primitive lifestyle. Now we're going to focus on the governmental notable steps, as ma'am has also mentioned that the Ministry of Ayush, the inception of Ministry of Ayush in 2014 played a very big role. It's a great step towards the naturopathy, Unani treatments, Ayurveda, and yoga. Now, what we're going to see, Ayurveda. Ayurveda is basically all the indigenous knowledges. We can say that the basically amalgamation of all the knowledge of indigenous. हमने क्या किया, सारे indigenous communities के knowledge को कुछ हद तक टेस्ट करके उसको हमने नाम दे दिया आयुर्वेदा. So this is like that. We should focus on the folk medicinal practices of many tribes जो आज भी हमें नहीं पता है. Then the development of traditional knowledge digital library, which is a big initiative by the government of India to include the traditional medicinal knowledge from texts to the modern practices. Texts में बहुत कुछ है, but modern medicinal practices में उनको include नहीं किया जाता है. So for that, the government has introduced the TKDL, and the most important is to prevent the cases of biopiracy. अब यहाँ पे बायोपायरेसी की बात इसलिए आती है कि बायोपायरेसी, what is biopiracy? In simple terms, we can say that कोई भी, it is specific to the indigenous knowledge, indigenous people, कोई भी community जो इतना एक्सपोज्ड नहीं है बाहर की सोसाइटी से, बट दे हैव सम सॉर्ट ऑफ प्रैक्टिसेस। एंड उसमें क्या करते हैं, एज ए रिसर्चर और एनी वन यू कैन से दैट, जिनको पता है इसका, वो दे जस्ट टेक द आइडियाज फ्रॉम देम एंड वो उसके नाम पे पेटेंट ले लेते हैं कहीं और, एंड दे कीप सेलिंग इट विदाउट गिविंग देम क्रेडिट। उनको क्रेडिट ही नहीं मिल रहा है, तो इस फेनोमेनन को बायोपायरेसी कहा जाता है। तो इस पूरे प्रोसेस में बायोपायरेसी एक बहुत बड़ा रोल प्ले करता है। सो टू प्रिवेंट द केसेस ऑफ बायोपायरेसी, द गवर्नमेंट हैज इनिशिएटेड द TKDL फॉर टू गिव द लाइसेंसिंग टू द पेटेंट्स। ठीक है, अब पेटेंट की बात पे एक सबसे अच्छा एग्जांपल मैं यहाँ ड्रॉ करना चाहता हूँ कि सबसे पहले नीम एंड टर्मरिक हमारे इंडियन कल्चर में बहुत टाइम से चलते हुए आ रहा है, बट वी haven't got the patent of that neem and turmeric। वो कोई यूरोपियन और US बेस्ड कंपनी ने नीम और टर्मरिक का पेटेंट ले लिया। तो these are few like incidences जिससे हमें इस चीज पे ध्यान रखना चाहिए कि किस तरीके से हम बायोपायरेसी लाइक चीजों को कैसे डील कर सकते हैं टू डील विद द ट्राइबल कम्युनिटीज। Now, the successful example I want to give is that the use of quinine from the Tincona bark initially used by Quechua tribal community of Peru. Okay, पेरू साउथ अमेरिका में मलेरिया को ट्रीट करने के लिए यूज किया जाता था, which later became the first anti-malarial drug globally and saved millions of life. Even WHO के रिकमेंडेशन में, वर्ल्ड हेल्थ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के रिकमेंडेशन में बेस का काम करता है क्यूनाइन मेडिसिन टू डील विद द मलेरिया लाइक डिजीजेस। तो दिस इज ए सक्सेसफुल एग्जांपल। तो वी शुड आल्सो फोकस दैट हम क्यों ना इस तरीके से डेवलप करें ताकि हम भी मॉडर्न हेल्थ केयर सिस्टम में इसको बेसिकली इवेल्युएट कर सके और वैलिडेशन लेकर प्रॉपर मेडिसिन का डेवलप कर सके। नाउ दिस इज द कंक्लूजन। The folk medicines used by the Mishing community play a very effective role in their health protection and disease treatment. As I have mentioned, it is based on the local biodiversity. As I have mentioned कि नॉर्थ ईस्ट में biodiversity plays a very big role, तो geographical condition का एक बहुत बड़ा रोल है इस abundance के लिए। Then they are facing very issues like it is not passing from generation to generation due to very phenomenon of the society like globalization and everything, like सबके पास affordable internet available हो गया है, but it is an ironical that affordable internet available है but affordable healthcare available नहीं है। So we can see कि इस condition में क्या किया जा सकता है। So we just want to preserve this cultural heritage as it is a part of our nation, and we should integrate this into the rural health system first, then we should focus on the bottom up approach in the planning, और हम इस तरीके से इसको अच्छे से डेवलप कर सकते हैं through scientific validation and evaluation. These are the references I have used, and thank you. At last I want to conclude my whole discussion with a statement. As a geographer, I want to draw a scholarly statement of Wilson. It has mentioned that health system is something that we can't buy. Health is something we can't buy, but it is a saving that can help in the crisis-like situation. So that's why we have to focus on the savings, and this indigenous knowledge system is saving of our, it is a bank account saving that we can draw and use in the crisis-like situation. So thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Parthib. Actually, I just lost the meeting somehow. Okay. So thank you so much, Mr. Parthib. That was really a fantastic and wonderful session you have presented today. Though the center part of your study was the Mishing tribe, but you parallelly have also explained about how this traditional knowledge system is working with the modern medicinal departments, and how the modern medicinal department is including some of the positives from this from traditional medicinal knowledge system, because at the end more or less every community, and I'm using the word community for the better panoramical sense of understanding, has its own medicinal knowledge. So thank you so much, Mr. Parthib. Now moving to the Q&A session. And before we move to the Q&A session, I would like to remind the audience that the chat box is open now. You can ask your queries related to this session. We have specific time limits, but we will try to ask we'll try to take one or two queries from them. Though I lost my chat box, but I can remember the one question somebody has asked, and the question was that how can we preserve the documentation of this traditional knowledge system, as well as ये ट्रेडिशनल नॉलेज सिस्टम की जो या फिर मिशिंग ट्राइब की आपने बात की, तो जो मिशिंग ट्राइब की जो यंगर जनरेशन है उसमें इस ट्रेडिशनल नॉलेज सिस्टम को कैसे पहुंचाया जाए, या कैसे वो यंगर जनरेशन उस ट्रेडिशनल नॉलेज सिस्टम को प्रिजर्व करके रखेगी.
Okay, the thing is that already government काफी initiatives ले रहे हैं, and there are few working NGOs who are working in Assam to and not in Assam, it's working on every northeastern states to document such things, and it is the duty of researcher also to highlight such things and make a documentation to further propose it to the government. Government initiatives लिए जा रहे हैं, and the most important as a like as I have studied it, and I think we can do is that the integration of this knowledge system in the schooling level, at least in the 3 districts of Assam where the Mishing tribe is dominating. हम क्या कर सकते हैं, वहाँ पे इंटीग्रेशन कर सकते हैं एज प्राइमरी लेवल पे, सेकेंडरी लेवल पे हम धीरे धीरे उसको अगर इंटीग्रेशन करते रहेंगे, एंड देयर इज अ थिंग लाइक कॉल्ड एज, हम जितना ज्यादा कल्चरल रिच उनको बताएंगे कि यू आर कल्चरली रिच, वो उतना ज्यादा वल्नरेबल नहीं होंगे टुवर्ड्स द चेंज कि ग्लोबलाइजेशन के उस नेगेटिव वाले साइड में. तो दिस इज वन ऑफ द वे आई थिंक द गवर्नमेंट कैन मेक, एंड लाइक the initial teaching is one of them.
All right, that was a really good answer. Now the next question, although we also have some more questions, but as I said, time limits hai to usko dhyan mein rakhte hue I'm just asking one more question to you, which is that how was your experience with this platform? I'm sure that this platform was totally new, you have never heard about this before this. So how was your experience with this platform? Something you would like to share with our audience today?
Yeah, actually one of the teacher have mentioned me ki GSTS is there. Actually he knows that I have been graduated from the Singh College itself, so he is a teacher at DU only. So उन्होंने mention किया था कि there is GSTS, so if you want to you can share your studies or whatever. So उससे पहले मुझे he even asked me कि do you know about GSTS, तो मुझे unfortunately पता नहीं था, but इट्स अ ग्रेट एक्सपीरियंस जब मैंने अच्छे से GSTS के बारे में पता किया कि ये 239th टॉक है, जो कि बहुत इट्स लाइक बहुत इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी अप्रोच पे आप लोग फोकस करते हैं. सो इट्स गोइंग टू बी ए गुड टू द रिसर्च कम्युनिटी ऑल्सो, क्योंकि रिसर्च में एक बहुत बड़ा पार्ट आता है जिसको लिटरेचर रिव्यू कहा जाता है, या फिर पहले हम नॉलेज एक्वायर करते हैं, तो इसके थ्रू आई गेस नॉलेज एक्वायर किया जा सकता है. एंड first of all, my experience with GSTS is that the coordinators are really good. Actually, I have came up with so many issues. बहुत सारे situations में कि मैं आज present नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ, I am extending it and such things. So they have dealt with like so much of patience and everything, and उन्होंने मुझे slot proper provide किया, and they have helped me at every step. And even the pre-meet was also very informative. Like I have got many suggestions and I have worked on it. I have tried to work on it. So GSTS एक बहुत अच्छा platform है, मेरा experience बहुत अच्छा. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Parthib. It was a really wonderful session with you today, and looking forward for more of your presence in the future sessions. So thank you so much, Mr. Parthib. Now, moving further in the session, I would like to invite today's guest of honor, Monish Kumari ma'am, once again for her final remarks over today's topic and over this initiative. Ma'am, please. Ma'am, kindly unmute yourself.
Congratulations, Parthib, for such a wonderful presentation and the very interesting topic to begin with. So that's that. And being a geographer, let's begin it somewhere deterministic nature. For rest of the people, deterministic nature, it means where the nature determines. So yes, Mishing tribe or Assam, why it is? Because nature is more benevolent over there. So you can have the presence of these kind of the medicinal plants are more over there. So that's that. And why Mishing tribe? You have beautifully explained. I need not to go why you have chosen this. So that's part of Assam, lower riparian state. They live in certain conditions, and you have mentioned like couple of the malaria and jaundice, right? So of course that's something they live near water, so that's why they are supposed to have more of these like disease, and they have beautifully adapted to that. So that's that. A few more comments. You have mentioned some tradition, right? So like they offer these plants or take care of these plants for part of their culture. So that I just want to mention like the same kind of the things are each and every corner of our country. Like for example, here in North, people worship Tulsi or people. So that's a part of the conservation, and that the same I can find that you can say beauty or similarity. So that's there. And as you have mentioned, there are 4S. I want to like availability, accessibility, affordability, and alternative. I want to make one more S so that it can make 5S, awareness, right? That's the most important. The fifth S has to be there. And you say women as custodians of knowledge, and it is basically in the form of the oral traditions. And in your last session, last slide or so, you have mentioned government has come up for something digital. So I want you to suggest to these people so that they can come up, they know the knowledge government is bringing. There is a gap. I guess as a researcher, you can bridge that particular gap, so that can be there. One suggestion, you have said, you mentioned one graph where you kind of showed the relationship between the ambulances, right? Number of the ambulances. But my little suggestion, because the four kind of the, you can say, disease you have covered: malaria, jaundice, skin disease, and headache. And in my limited knowledge, they don't need an ambulance services. So that kind of didn't do justice for that. So you can have a look over that. So they don't need so. And it's wonderful you have done 52 plans. Why? My another question is, yours is like secondary data, right? NNFHS, Ministry of Health, and but base year from where and how many year study you have done, so that you have to take care. Like, right, there are different sources, and they are not maybe covering all these, so that you can take care. And last but not the least, why not develop this medicinal system like Kerala type, right? People go there, now it's a whole industry over there. So you can suggest that something in for the policy, etc. And in the last, I can say future is bright. We should be hopeful. So there was some study when you put nature, aloe vera, or you can say Ayurveda, those products have a high sale value, right? Whether it's for these beauty products, they put moisturizer and aloe vera, it is going to have a high saleable thing, right? So that's that. So that's that. So we have a future. So that's so congratulations. And I really want to congratulate GSTS. That's a wonderful platform. This is my first time, and if I'm right, there is one of my student, Monica Dhankar, is there. I don't know how come she knows and I don't know. I've taught her, so that's a wonderful, and this is like very well presented, serious researchers and very good coordinators are there under the supervision of Manish sir. So I really, sir, give you a huge round of applause for this such a wonderful initiative, and looking forward for such more. And I will be participant sometimes. Now I know the quality. So thank you, sir. And thank you, Salendra. Thank you, Parthib, for the participation.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your remarks and for your suggestions to today's speaker. Thank you so much for joining us, and we are looking forward your continuous presence, because the continuous presence of our professors is a huge encouragement for us, for the moderators of this initiative. So looking forward your continuous presence on this initiative. Thank you so much, ma'am, once again for joining us today. Now, moving further, I would like to invite our to-be speaker for next Sunday, Mr. Mahendra, and he would be speaking on the topic Dalit autobiography and constitutional values and interrelationship. So, Mr. Mahendra, it's over to you now.
नमस्कार सभी को। थैंक्स शैलेंद्र एंड GSTS टीम। मैं महेंद्र कोहली हूँ और मैंने हाल ही में इसी साल दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी से हिंदी डिपार्टमेंट से मास्टर्स कंप्लीट किया है और मेरी GSTS वार्ता का विषय रहेगा हिंदी दलित आत्मकथा और संवैधानिक मूल्य, एक अंतर संबंध। इसमें मैंने मुख्य रूप से हिंदी की 3 प्रसिद्ध दलित आत्मकथाओं को केंद्र में रखा है। फर्स्ट मुर्धैया, उम्मीद करता हूँ मेरी आवाज स्पष्ट रूप से आप तक पहुंच रही होगी।
हाँ, कुछ बैकग्राउंड डिस्टर्बेंसेस हैं पर हम आपको सुन पा रहे हैं। प्लीज आप कंटिन्यू कीजिए।
ओके। इसमें मैंने मुख्य रूप से 3 दलित आत्मकथाओं को केंद्र में रखा है जो सर्वाधिक प्रसिद्ध हैं। मुर्धैया, जिसके लेखक तुलसीराम हैं, और झूठन, जिसके लेखक ओम प्रकाश वाल्मीकि हैं, और तीसरा मेरा बचपन मेरे कंधों पर, जिसके लेखक शिवराज सिंह बेचैन हैं। इन आत्मकथाओं में कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल वैल्यू जैसे जस्टिस, लिबर्टी, इक्वलिटी, फ्रेटर्निटी किस प्रकार रिफ्लेक्ट होती हैं। कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन और कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन से निकले कानून तथा जमीनी हकीकत में कितना अंतर है, अर्थात इन कानूनों का प्रैक्टिकल इम्प्लीमेंटेशन किस हद तक हो पाता है, इम्प्लीमेंटेशन में क्या क्या बाधाएं हैं, इन बाधाओं का क्या कोई सॉल्यूशन है, यदि है तो वो क्या क्या सॉल्यूशन हो सकते हैं, ये मेरा मुख्य टॉपिक रहेगा। और सेकेंडरी पॉइंट्स रहेंगे दलित साहित्य का सामान्य परिचय, और सामान्य परिचय के तहत दलित आत्मकथाएं या साहित्य का सामाजिक और साहित्यिक परिदृश्य, भारतीय समाज व्यवस्था और दलित साहित्य का सामान्य परिचय, और डॉक्टर अंबेडकर के कास्ट पर क्या विचार हैं, इक्वलिटी, लिबर्टी एंड जस्टिस क्या है, और दलित साहित्य की क्या क्या आलोचनाएं हैं। और तो इस प्रकार ये टॉपिक जितना साहित्य से जुड़ा है उससे कहीं अधिक सोसाइटी से जुड़ा है, पॉलिटी से जुड़ा है।
थैंक यू सो मच मिस्टर महेंद्र। एंड मैं मिस्टर महेंद्र की तरफ से और पूरी GSTS टीम की तरफ से नेक्स्ट संडे आप सभी को आमंत्रित करता हूँ। प्लीज आइए, और ये बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट विषय है और बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट विषय पर एक बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट टॉक है जहाँ पर 3 बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट दलित ऑटोबायोग्राफीज पर मिस्टर महेंद्र अपने विचार रखेंगे। Thank you so much everybody for joining us. Now I am handing over the stage to Dr. Manish Kanwar for wrapping up the session with vote of thanks.
Thank you, Salend. We are running late, 1:20 late, but as usually I can invite only one faculty member. So Madhuri ma'am, Dr. Madhuri, want to say something? A very quick remark by Dr. Madhuri, and after that I'll give vote of thanks and some my suggestions, or like wrap up this GSTS 239. Madhuri ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Manish sir, for giving me opportunity. First of all, I would like to congratulate Mr. Parthib for such a wonderful intervention. I have just a very quick kind of suggestion, not suggestion because he can be a part of a policy maker. So because I mean teasing out such kind of indigenous knowledge is one of the need of the hour. So definitely, but what I feel like that integrating from outside, why not we try integrating from inside? For example, जो health centers वहाँ पे PHC खोले जाएं सरकार की तरफ से, और जितने भी यहाँ पे लोकल हीलर्स हैं जैसे वैद्य हो गए या ओझा हो गए, उनको इन PHCs के साथ एसोसिएट किया जाए। तो यहाँ पे 2 वे प्रोसेस होगा कि वो अपने नॉलेज को उनके साथ शेयर करेंगे और जैसे जैसे वो बताएंगे उसको वो एक्सपेरिमेंट करेंगे, और साथ के साथ इन सारी जगहों पे एक रिसर्च लैब भी खोला जाए, जिससे ये जितनी भी प्रैक्टिसेस हों, जो भी मेडिसिनल की साइंटिफिक वैलिडिटी हो, वो वहां पे टेस्टिफाई हो सके। और इससे जो है मेरे ख्याल से सरकार बहुत ज्यादा जो है इंडिजिनस नॉलेज के पक्ष में और पॉजिटिव सेंस में काम कर पाएगी। And definitely hats off to you, Parthib, and all the best for your future research, since this your topic is very much close to my heart. And उसके साथ साथ आप ये भी कर सकते हैं आगे, क्योंकि अभी आपने पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन किया, आगे आप एमफिल करेंगे, पीएचडी करेंगे, तो इसमें हमारे दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी की प्रोफेसर मधुलिका बनर्जी हैं पॉलिटिकल साइंस डिपार्टमेंट में, उनका पावर एंड नॉलेज हेल्थ रिलेटेड उनकी बहुत अच्छी बुक है। इसी के साथ मेरी भी एक बुक है हिस्ट्री के सेंस में, इंडिजिनस एंड वेस्टर्न मेडिसिन इन कॉलोनियल इंडिया, उसके साथ लेके और एक बड़ा प्रोजेक्ट बना के जिसमें कि ज्योग्राफर्स भी हों, हिस्टोरियंस भी हों, पॉलिटिकल साइंटिस्ट भी हों, और साथ साथ जो है डॉक्टर्स भी हों जो रिसर्च करें। तो इससे मेरे ख्याल से हम ओवरऑल इंडिया के जहाँ पे भी ऐसे ट्राइबल नॉलेज है, हीलिंग नॉलेज, उसको हम जो है बड़े पैमाने पे रिसर्च करके और फोरफ्रंट पे ला सकते हैं। तो नॉट ओनली ब्रिंगिंग देम टू द मेन स्ट्रीम बट ऑल्सो टेकिंग मेन स्ट्रीम टू दीज sections as well. So again, thank you.
Thank you for
Thank
your
you.
suggestion, and ma'am, if I get the opportunity, I will surely.
Okay, thank
Thank
you,
you.
thank you, Dr. Madhuri, for really wonderful suggestions. And why not Africanists? Like in our department, we are working on traditional medicine towards the art of healing, and even somehow one of my work I recently published from Global South Healthcare Journal, role of indigenous knowledge in Siddhi health system and interaction of tradition, spirituality, and medicine. So in my department, the three of my scholars, they are three of the scholars. One is Nidhi, and one is Dibyaraj Singh, and another is Jayendra Narayan. They are working on the indigenous knowledge system, and recently I have published with Anushka Srivastava, and one scholar, Suneha Sarma, also working on the Siddhis and the tribes and their healers, the healers of the African people who came to India. So really, this is a very fantastic idea that you propounded, Dr. Madhuri, that why not we club those healers to be part of the regional health centers, because in India, we had a very good regional health center. So definitely, these are the very informative, and thank you, Mr. Dev, that you have given us a wonderful idea, though you do not change so many things what we discussed in the pre-meet, because this is a talk and you presented as a paper, but it's fine. You try to change, but in 3 or 4 days you are not mentioning so many things. But I'm very happy that at least you prepare and produce a very interesting interesting ideas on the primary source. So I'm not going to make any comment on your research, because already did by Dr. Monish Kumar and Dr. Madhuri Sama. But my question is the same, that whether we can believe on these kind of traditional medicine in day-to-day life. Ultimately, we have to go to the hospital for the sudden emergency case. So this is, and one thing you can mention, like illiterate person and oral tradition. So in Africa and India, both we believe in the oral traditions, but the orality is now no more, because we had a very less contact with our parents and our grandparents. So this is the major problem, and the language, we eliminate the local languages. So there are very big problem, but as a scholar, you Dr. Madhuri already conducted so many research on this, and so many my friends also they conducted. So we have a ground, like area studies program, like grounded framework to inculcate all these things. So I don't have any suggestions right now, suggestions you want, at least in our life, day-to-day life, we can inculcate all those things. In my previous college, my principal, he used to give us only water, hot water, and the tulsi patta. That's all. The instead of the tea and the coffee. So maybe in everyday's life we can inculcate a few of those things. I'm doing. But it's not a tradition of use traditional medicine. So definitely we'll do. Just like Dr. Munes is in a home, so cough and cold, so mother gives the haldi and doodh. So simply the first strike, haldi and doodh. Everywhere. The whole India, whether you are in Assam, whether you are in Haryana, and that's why people if want to bifurcate us to the in the state or the nation, I don't think so. Even Africa also, if you go and understand Africa, turmeric water is the most important medicine for them also. So really, thank you very
So
much.
in
Yeah.
USA, USA they are giving turmeric latte with a
Yes,
fancy name.
Tamil, yes. So are you so these things now we have to come out from the conferences and the seminars and the paper. We can use day to day in our life, so we can change something. But otherwise, we have given you a platform, and you have given me a wonderful idea about the traditional medicine. Those who are working on traditional medicine, they got benefited from this. Thank you very much, Mr. Deo. So be connected with this platform, and the moderator of the day, Salen, and the upcoming scholar, Mr. Mahendra Singh. So suddenly from the Assam to the Dalit Sahitya, this is the most important idea of this GSTS. Thank you very much. And we'll meet next Sunday, 240th GSTS talk. So we are approaching towards the 250, and I know this is a very good initiative, and still we are working on this. So thank you very much, audience, my graduate, postgraduate, MPhil and PhD student, college teachers from Shyam Lal Evening College, and principal and IQAC in charge, and the guest of honor today, Dr. Muniz Kumari. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Take care. We'll meet next Sunday, the same time, 5 to 6. Thank you very much. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you